Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing very well. We've got Chris back on the channel. That's been a while, so hope you're doing very well, Chris.
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Dan, mate. Glad to be back.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, since we last spoke, I mean, Forest's been forming a bit up and down, but just recently, since Liverpool game, that's been a lot more fight, and we've seen two victories. I mean, what's your take been on it since last spoke?
It's been a really important time for us. Obviously, we've ended up where we are in a kind of a relegation scrap, which at the start of the year, based on where we are at the minute, you probably would have taken it. However, the bad form in between like January and now, that period of I don't know how many games like beaten it was. We just couldn't get results. Obviously, away form's still a big problem. But things are looking up. Things are looking up. We looked good against Brentford, especially that first half. We were 1-0 up, obviously a lot of that game, and then obviously we were come undone. 2 goals with one last goal in the 90th minute. Plus, I'm not sure what it was, but late. But obviously the Brighton and the Southampton games are really kind of positive results for us, and we look like a team that's up for the fight now, and things are starting to come together with no big injuries. Willy Bolly coming back is a big one for me. Obviously, Nico Williams obviously saw Worrell back as a right back, and Awani, of course, and a link up play between Danilo's looking now like coming into his own. He's looking like the player that we thought he could be. I think he now is looking like that player. And Gibbs White that exciting Johnson, Awani, Gibbs White and Danilo like just in behind. That's looking like a really, especially on the counter attack, we're looking like a big threat. Hopefully we can take a bit of that into Chelsea and see where we end up. But obviously, great win against Brighton. Thought we looked incredible, like really good against Brighton. Obviously conceding first and then coming back looked really great. And then Southampton game, obviously tense at the end. I was honestly when I was waiting for those minutes to clock down, I was watching it here in Barcelona, and it was obviously we had the Felipe goal ruled out, and then obviously they came again and there was a penalty. Sam Surridge gave away, and then the goal, and I honestly was. It would have summed up parts of our season this year if we just did concede again. It'd be 4-4 a game that we just should have won. But obviously we had it out to the end, and that's a great win. Puts us in good stead for this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Chelsea's been in a really bad state of form in themselves, but especially with how they've been. I mean, lucky enough they won last week, so they didn't have to put pressure on them to win this week. But I mean, it'd be great for us to go to Chelsea and get something out of them.
100%. I think I read on Twitter earlier that someone's saying that now this is the biggest game of the year. It always keeps saying like this is the next game is the biggest game. But obviously, if we did get something tomorrow, a draw, or if we did manage to pick up potentially 3 points, 3 points tomorrow, I genuinely think that's it. I think we're up. I think we maintain our position in the Premier League for next year. However, obviously, if we can get a draw, get a point, I'll be very chuffed with that as well. We just need to keep that distance between us and Leeds and Leicester as well. Everton looked like obviously that big win against Brighton. Everton looked like they could start pulling away, and they look like they probably will stay up as well. If I had to predict, it's just like keeping that form together. So, like you said, Chelsea have been a bit all over the place. Frank Lampard as well has not had a great start. But I think that's kind of that showed us how good of a job that Steve Cooper's done. The fact that Chelsea signed all these players in January, completely changed the squad. Similar to the situation we were in, obviously ours was like a necessity, and theirs was more just for the planning for the future. I think now you see how hard it is to kind of create a unified team and create like a winning team together based on players coming from all over the world. I think it's really shows how good the job that Steve Cooper's actually done with our squad and the situation that they finished last year with. Chelsea are a bit all over the place. They just came off a good win. I can't remember who it was. Bournemouth, was it 3-1? I think.
Right, and you won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chelsea. Yeah. Bournemouth, I think. Yeah. So they've finally won. So if we can just put the pressure on, I think if we play like we did against Southampton, and if we put in like a first half performance against Brentford, I think we might be able to get something tomorrow. But going forward, we're looking really, really positive at the minute. Really, really good. And it's exciting. Yeah, I'm looking really forward to tomorrow, and I just really hope we can get something from the game. But I think Chelsea are there to be taken if we perform like we fight, show what we've done in the last 3 games. I think we'll be able to get something tomorrow. But obviously, the away form is the only my only concern.
Yeah, I think it's everyone's concern. But I mean, talking to a few Chelsea fans, they've been saying that if we don't beat them, then we're bad. But like you said, and I've been saying our away form not been the best this season, and even if we got a point out of it, it'd be a success for us, and especially if teams find us don't pick up points. I mean, that'd be 4 points, another point ahead to carry on.
Exactly, and ultimately, our goal difference this year, we can't rely on the goal difference, whatever happens. So we will be. We need that extra point. I think we need something from the game, obviously, but we've got Arsenal at home following that, and then we've got Palace away to finish the season. So ideally, you don't really want to be waiting, like relying on other people and other results on the last game of the season, and having to go to Palace and win at Palace. So if we can get the job done in the meantime and get points on the board, then that helps us. Of course, it does. But yeah, hopefully, even a point tomorrow. Yeah, like I said, just gives us that bit of breathing room. Gives us that even if there's like a surprise result, even if for Leeds, for example, or Leicester, then it gives us that breathing room and gives that difference because it's not a 3 point. Obviously, we're 3 points above them, but if it's like more of a 2 point lead, and the fact that if we do end up on the same points, then goal difference isn't going to help us out. So, I think, I think Chelsea are there for the taking. I'm not sure how well it's coming together yet. I just hope that we can really put in a positive performance tomorrow and kind of carry on this kind of momentum, because even though the Brentford game we lost, we looked up for it and we looked for lots of parts of the game, and obviously we were undone by the free kick and we were undone about afterwards as well, which is very frustrating. But the Brighton game before that and the Southampton game, we're on a good little run at form at the minute. I think generally speaking, Brentford is no easy place to go either. So hopefully, we can keep momentum up and get something, because I heard about Saliba and Zinchenko are injured for Arsenal the following week. So again, who knows? But regarding Chelsea, I think there could be something in there for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think with them two being it'd be a massive one next week. But like you said as well, that we got to stop. We have to take care of our results first, then worry about everyone else. And if everyone else lose, then it's a bonus.
Exactly, and obviously, it does concern me a little bit. Sam Allardyce at Leeds, the second half that against City, Leeds versus City, that I think was last weekend. I watched the second half and they looked like they were up for the fight a bit more than they were under beforehand. And so it's whether we don't want to rely on having to rely on other teams to get results. And I think Leicester play Liverpool this weekend, is it? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I expect Liverpool to win, but you don't want to have to rely on teams like that so we can stay up in the league. Obviously, Arsenal big game, Palace big game, and Chelsea out those games. I'd rather be facing a Chelsea potentially than a Palace. Even though Palace neither have got really anything to play for. But Chelsea this year have been diabolical. They've been terrible. Really struggling for goals. So who knows? But I'm feeling positive for tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Everton got Man City, Leicester got Liverpool, Leeds got Newcastle. Well, then if you count Southampton, they got Fulham. I mean, looking at them games, and they've got Chelsea. I mean, they all looking tough games. I mean, we're the away team this weekend, so I mean, but yeah, I completely agree. especially if we do get that win, I mean, potentially it could take us 6 points clear of that zone. So,
That'd be
I mean,
huge. Yeah.
yeah, it'd be huge. I mean, are you wanting to keep the same sort of team from Monday? I mean, I know OEA came off injured and Loddy did a little bit. So, for them two changes, would you keep everyone else the same?
I would, or depending on I like Kiarte when he comes on, I really do, and I Yates compared to the performances we've seen Yates play in previous, maybe it's his first game back, like first couple of games back, and he's not fully fit or whatnot, but I look at Kiarte when he came on, so I may be tempted to play Kiarte, but yeah, more or less, I'm sticking with the same. I really like Mangala playing. Mangala came and looked really, really good against Southampton. Really holding the ball up well, and in that centre of midfield, kind of defensive role, and on the quick break, and obviously Danilo as well. So yeah, I'd probably stick with the same starting 11. But it depends if we go play five back or a four back. If I play a five back, I'd put probably Willy Bolly into the back three with Felipe and Niakate. But I think, judging by what keepers said and judging by keepers press conferences, I'd probably say I probably think Ore will be fit to play. I think he'll probably start. To be honest, I think he'll be playing right back. But it just depends on what we're playing, a four back or a five back, really. I'm not sure. Do you know any news about Lodi? Is Lodi?
Nothing's been said. It looked like it was only a knot, or it was just tied because he ran himself into the ground, left him
Yeah.
a minute. So I think it just came off just as a precaution, but nothing's been said. So I'm not overly worried. But then Toffolo did well when he came on, so we got a good replacement in case.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do like Toffolo when he comes on at the start. I think he's been kind of sound as a like a replacement. He's not like made any big errors really. I kind of like it. He's a really good kind of replacement. If it does come down to it, I've got confidence in him to fill the void. Obviously, I don't think he's on Lodi's level, but I think if we do start Toffolo, I think I'm still confident that we can get something still. But yeah, that's reason. Like if we're playing a five back, then or a four back, then literally that's probably the difference I'd make. Either we play Willy Bolly, Felipe, and Niakate, and maybe take out between I don't know Yates maybe, but Yates I think is great for the team in terms of his kind of get up and go kind of fighting kind of. I think we've seen to fight a lot more on the pitch.
Yeah,
When with
definitely.
Yates on the pitch, I think he's really great for that. So I fingers crossed. I think fingers crossed we can put something together. But that's probably what the changes I'd make, just depending on formation really and who's fit. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, how many points would you take from the next three games for us to?
Mm.
I know you mentioned it, but realistically, points, how many would you take?
So I was watching Monday Night Football and they think that 3 points would be enough now for us. Um. So we need. Against Arsenal, we're not expected to really win. They're still in a title race. I don't think we're expected to win. I would take, and the away form makes it difficult to kind of predict, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Because we're in that we've only I think it's only one win on the road. So um, you know, I would take a point tomorrow. I'd be chuffed with a point tomorrow, and I just hope that we can pick up a win either against Arsenal or Palace. But I draw against Palace. I think it's definitely doable, and it's just trying to pick up those potential extra 2-3 points elsewhere, either tomorrow or Arsenal home. Like I said, Saliba and Zinchenko are both out the rest of the season, I believe. So they're not defensively not going to be the same as they were with them in the squad.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but again, they're still in a title race, so it just all depends on kind of it depends on how we turn up and play really. But at the City ground, I wouldn't three draws potentially. I
Yeah, I know what you mean. What's score prediction for tomorrow?
tomorrow. Oh, it tends to become ahead of my heart.
You can have answer for head and a
My
heart.
heart, yeah. So my heart says 1-0 Forest. but my head says 1-1 draw.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. My head says that same like 1-1, but my heart says 2-1 for us.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think, now I think that Danilo seemed to hit the form. When he scored on Monday, I just think them two might just kick on with scoring.
100%, 100%, and yeah, and it's all coming together a bit. That those like that kind of front four, if you will. Obviously, Danilo's playing in a more central midfield role, but Awani and Johnson's in like a good spell of form. He, and Gibbs White obviously has been incredible this year. So whether we can, I just hope that we can tomorrow kind of keep linking up and keep getting those chances. And I think it's only a matter of time against these big teams where we probably will be able to score with the way we're playing.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to say about your socials?
Yeah. I'm Coop on Twitter and Chris.Coop on Instagram. That's my socials, damn it.
So do it, Chris, up on them Twitters. Thank you for coming on there anyway.
Thanks. Yeah, cheers, Dan. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
No
Having me back.
worries. So, thank you for watching, guys.